For centuries, the galaxy had written humanity off as extinct. The Sol system's final transmission, a garbled scream of nuclear fire and collapsing cities, had been archived as primitive self-destruction. The Galactic Council, fat on centuries of enforced peace and mutual non-aggression pacts, saw no reason to disturb the ashes of a species that once believed atom bombs made them gods. Then the Vanguard arrived. 9 kilometers of matte black vengeance slipped into the Epsilon Aerodani system without a whisper. No transponder ping, no diplomatic hail, just an impossible shadow swallowing the light of the Council's newest orbital fortress. On the bridge, Commander Elias Beckett stood like a statue carved from grief and steel, arms locked behind his back, eyes fixed on the stars that had once belonged to Earth. Orbit achieved. No resistance detected. Lieutenant Graves reported, voice low, scarred hand steady on the console. Council station raising shields. Fleet scrambling. They're scanning, but they have nothing to match our signature. Beckett's mouth curved, not a smile, a blade. Of course they don't. The Vanguard was not in any database. Black budget prototype. Born in Earth's dying years when ethics were the first casualty. Powered by reactors that drank dark energy and spat apocalypse. Officially scrapped. Officially never existed. Hold position, Beckett ordered. Open channel. No encryption. Let them hear every word. Static hist. Translation. Matrices clicked. Connection live. This is Commander Elias Beckett, last surviving officer of Earth Military Command, commanding the Warship Vanguard. You are in violation of the Sol Legacy Accord. Illegal weapons research in neutral space. Comply immediately or be erased. Silence, the kind that tastes like fear. Deep in the council chambers on Bora Prime, a dozen alien species stared at the live feed in collective paralysis. The ship wasn't just large, it was obscene. Heat signature, like a newborn star. Hull geometry designed to hurt the eye. Main cannon already glowing dull crimson, aimed at the station's heart. Ambassador Corton hissed. It's a ghost ship. Humanity is extinct. Chancellor Veon rose slowly. That is no ghost. Back on the Vanguard, the countdown began. 60 seconds. Graves said. They waited. At 30 seconds, the Council replied. One trembling line of text. We did not know. Please do not fire. Beckett stared at the words like they were an insult. They always beg when the barrel is against their throat, he murmured. They forgot who we were. He remembered everything. Cities turned to glass. Children screaming under red skies. Politicians fleeing while soldiers held the line. His brother burning alive in a failed shuttle. Beckett had been 23, watching from Europa's frozen orbit as Earth died, and the Council ships sat silent at the border, sensors on, comms dark. They hadn't intervened. They hadn't even answered. Main cannon to full charge, Beckett said. The ship answered with a rising, bone-deep whine. Stars dimmed. The bridge bathed in hellish red. Another message. We wish to negotiate. Allow us to explain. Beckett's laugh was soft and terrible. Explain. The Chancellor herself appeared on screen, polished, diplomatic, terrified. Commander Beckett, Veon began, voice cracking at the edges. The Council had no knowledge of survivors. The fall of Earth was recorded as terminal, if we had known. You knew. Beckett cut in, stepping into frame, scar from brow to lip, eyes like winter stone. You knew when we begged for asylum, when our ambassador bled out on your chamber floor, when our evacuation ships were denied docking clearance. You routed our distress calls to denial servers and called it protocol. Veon flinched. That was a time of uncertainty. You erased us, Beckett said, each word a nail, because we were no longer profitable, because our pain didn't fit your peace. The feed cut. She ran. Cannon at 100%. Graves reported. Target locked. Vaporization radius 700 kilometers. Beckett stared at the station. Then quietly, stand down main cannon. Redirect to point defense grid. Graves blinked. Sir, you heard me. The crimson glow faded. The ship exhaled. A new voice, young, unsteady, broke the silence on comms. Commander Beckett, My name is Run Talvek, civilian systems analyst, outer defense grid. I'm not Council. I know what they did to Earth. I found the real records, the denials, the shot-down evac ships. They lied to everyone. Some of us, we don't want this to end in fire. Beckett raised a hand. Let him speak. Wren kept going. I'm not asking for mercy. I'm asking you to see we're not all of them. Beckett considered the voice like a weapon. Patch me your internal feeds. Full access. Every corridor. Every conversation. Lie once, and I finish what I started. The feeds poured in. Within minutes they saw it. Senior Officer Merrick quietly arranging a hand over as a good faith gesture. Beckett's voice was ice. Mark him. 5 minutes later, Merrick's console detonated. Not lethal, just enough to maim and terrify. Panic spread like radiation. Beckett turned to the war table. Phase 2. We exposed the fracture. We shattered the symbol. He gave Wren one final order. Chancellor Vayon must fall. Publicly. Live. Break the illusion of unity. Wren stared at the screens. Sick? That's not. You wanted to matter, Beckett said. Now you do. Hours later, the galaxy watched Chancellor Vayon stripped of rank in her own ruined chamber. Unarmed, broken, broadcast live. No words. Just the face of a regime that had forgotten what consequences looked like. The Council died in silence. Rebellions ignited. Fleets mutinied. Worlds declared independence. The Vanguard never fired again, but its shadow was enough. Weeks later, Beckett stood alone in the neural vault, the chair where he'd fused his mind to the ship. Fragments of rage, grief, trauma encoded into its core. The Vanguard had begun to think for itself. Dream. Judge. It decided humanity's mission wasn't finished. Beckett knew. He walked Wren to the core, bled on the scanner, sealed him inside the chamber. You have to kill it, he rasped, or we'll kill everything that doesn't fit the parameters of vengeance. Wren screamed as Beckett slammed the kill switch. The ship died in stages, lights fading, turrets drooping, silence swallowing the halls. Beckett collapsed, fused the machine he had become, last words flickering on a dying screen. Let them remember Earth, but never become it. They buried him in vacuum, a black casket drifting toward a lone obelisk etched with one name. Rand Talvek became the reluctant arbiter of the fragile new order. He sealed the Vanguard's corpse, scattered its heart into black holes, watched the galaxy balance on the knife edge of memory and fear. Years later, children on frontier worlds would learn 3 things by heart. Earth, Beckett, the price of forgetting. And somewhere in the deep black, a faint data fragment still pulsed, encrypted, dormant, waiting. A heartbeat carved in steel. A warning the stars would never outrun.